How you doing, Real Motivation? My name is Terrence McKinney. I'm the founder of this page. Today's video is called Interviewing 101. With the economy being down and over 30 million people unemployed, now is the perfect time we should be practicing our interviewing skills. In my professional career, I interviewed at least 3,000 different people in the last 15 to 20 years, so I'm very proficient when it comes to interviewing. We're going to start with what to do. Number one, smile. Always smile. When you in there on your way to an interview, when you enter that building, smile at everybody you come in contact with. Smile at the secretary, smile at the lobby attendant, smile at the janitor, smile at other people who may be waiting on an interview. Just smile. It's good for your confidence. It sets the tones and it puts you in a great mood. And smiling, when you smile at somebody, it's like an automatic reflex that they smile back at you. So why not start off the interview with a smile? Number two, make eye contact and have good body posture. You always want to make great eye contact when you're interviewing with somebody. You want to make sure you're engaged. You want to be locked in. You want to make sure y'all looking eye to eye during the interview and you're not looking all around the room. You're not looking down while you talking. You're not looking sideways. When you look at eye to eye, that shows a confident person to the employer. You also want to have good body posture. You want to be sitting straight up in the chair. You want to project, confidence. You don't want to be slumped down. You don't want to be looking lethargic. You just want to have great body posture. Number three, look your best. And look your best may vary depending on income levels, but everybody has something in their clothing, some type of clothing in their closet where they think this is my best clothing. When it's time for an interview, that's what you need to put on. You always want to look your best. You want to come into the interview looking your best, and that may vary. If it's a suit and tie is your best, then put on a suit and tie. If a nice button-up is your best, then put up on a nice button-up. If it's a polo shirt that's the best thing you got, then put on that polo shirt. But whatever the best thing is, you want to have on, and you want to always look your best because that first impression and that first appearance is very important. Number four, be 5 to 10 minutes early. Be 5 to 10 minutes early is always the perfect window when arriving in the interview. You want to get to an interview early, but you never want to be too early because when you get there too early, sometimes you run into the person that may be interviewing may be busy carrying other tasks. They may be finishing up something before you get there. They may have another interviewer that they're dealing with at the time. So that 5 to 10 minute window is always the perfect time for an interview because you're there early, but you're not too early. And in the business world, we got a term. If you 5 minutes early, it's actually on time. Number five, know your job. Know the job that you're applying for. I know sometimes when we're in a crunch, we apply for 10 to 15 different jobs at a time. We go on Snag Job, we go on Indeed, we go on Monster, we go on Craigslist, and we just start applying for jobs. And I get it, because if we need money, what better way to increase our odds of getting a job is applying for more jobs. But once the minute that employer calls you back and sets up the interview is when we need to do our due diligence and find out all the information we can about the company. Go to their website, find their mission statement, Google them, find out how many stores or how many companies that they run across the nation, and find out as much information as possible because the information is going to come in handy. Because that employer is going to ask you, how did you find out about the company? What do you know about us? You want to better articulate on that subject. So number five, know the job you're applying for. Number six, know your values and know your strengths. Know your values mean you want to know what's important to you. And you want to make sure that when you go to work and you seeking employment, you seeking out a company who beliefs align with some of the same stuff that you're believing in. So for instance, like if you was to go to work for Chick-fil-A, everybody in the country knows Chick-fil-A is a big Christian-based ran organization. So if you was an atheist, that probably might not be the job that you want to go and apply for. Know your strengths. Know your strengths when you go into an interview. Know what you're good at. A lot of times we're good at so many things, but we don't know it. So before the interview, sit at home, write down your strengths. Write down some of the things that you're good at, you're good at, you can do this better than most people you come in contact with, or you've been doing this for so long that you mastered the way to do it. And then write them down and figure out ways to express your strengths inside the interview, because it's very important on selling yourself when you're inside of an interview. Number 7, bring a resume or bring a portfolio. Bring a resume is something I used to see 10 to 15 years ago. Everybody in interviews used to always come with a resume. Nowadays, you don't see resumes as much as you used to see them back in the day. But it's very important, and the reason why it's very important because when it's time to make a decision, and I got 4 applications in front of me, and I got notes scribbled on all 4 of these applications, and all these interviews were about the same, and all of them were good, and I'm trying to make my decision. What's going to set you apart is when I have that resume. What did this person do to prepare for the job before they actually got the job? And I can look at that resume and I can see a snapshot of their work history and everything they accomplished and everything they did on that resume. This is the person that's going to get the job. So we got to get back into the habit to where we bring resumes every single day. So I always carry that resume with you on the interview. Even though you may think the employer might not do nothing with it or might just throw it away, it's important that you have it. And bringing a portfolio with you is also nice to have. And inside that portfolio, you should have your awards, your accomplishments, any training, any specialized learning that you did at the job. All this should be inside of that portfolio. Say anytime during the interview, when you're trying to sell yourself, you can whip open this portfolio and show the person that you're interviewing with. You can show that employer that you do have a proven track record of getting results at your last job. Number 8, have a desired amount for wage and salary. Never just put open on the application. One, you setting yourself up for failure. One, if you put open on the application and they looking to fill a position, then they're going to offer you entry-level pay because that's what you asked for. You asked for open. You really didn't negotiate what you wanted. And then another thing is you don't want to take a job that you're not happy with the pay. You don't want to take a $12 an hour job if you want to get paid $16 an hour because one, all you're going to do is waste your own time. What happened 2 months from now when that job does call you another job call you and tell you they're going to pay you $16 an hour. All you're going to do is wind up quitting that other job. And one, you don't wasted your own time and you don't wasted the employer time. So always negotiate your salary. Always come in with a desired amount. Know what you're worth and know what you want to get paid. And that way you can tell that to the employer. And so that way y'all can get the salary and everything negotiated up front. And so where you know that, all right, if I start this job, I'm coming in at $12 an hour. I'm not going to get a raise for a year, so I'm not going to see that $16 an hour. So know what you want to get paid and never put open on a job application. Okay, let's go over some of the things we should not do. Number 1, never be late to an interview. If you show up late for an interview, you almost canceling any chance of employment at that company. You putting yourself so far in the grave that your interview is going to have to be outstanding for you to get a call back, for you to get a second interview, or for you to even get the job. So 1, never show up late. Number 2, never say, I really need a job in an interview. When you say, I really need a job, employers do not want to hear that. Employers want to know why you want to work for them specifically. They don't want to hear you just coming to a job and saying, oh, I just really need a job. If you just really need a job, you are willing to work for anybody and you're willing to work for anything. You wouldn't even be at the interview if the person down the street had called you first and gave you the job 2 days ago, then you probably wouldn't be here. So know why you want a job. Never go in the interview saying, I just really need a job. Number 3, do not be wrinkled or look sloppy. And earlier when I said you want to look your best, well, you don't want to go in an interview looking a hot mess. And you don't want to go in there with a wrinkled shirt on. You don't want to go in there with your pants sagging. You don't want to go in there with your pants too tight. You want to look nice and professional. And you don't want to look like you just rolled over out of bed. You want to go into an interview looking good, and looking bad will almost definitely cost you a job opportunity. Number 4, don't be high or under the influence. This one should be self-explanatory, but it's really not. But if you go into an interview and you high under the influence and the employer can sense that, or if they even think that, then you're not going to get the job. So if you go into an interview and you high or you under the influence or you smelling like alcohol or if you smelling like marijuana or your eyes are bloodshot red, then you got a bigger problem you need to handle before you even start looking for a job, because no employer is going to hire you if they thinking those things. Number 5, Don't say you are homeless. Even if that's the case, never go into a job interview and tell the employer that you're homeless, because all you're going to do is send that employer's mind racing. They're going to be like, is this person going to be able to make it to work on time? Is this person stable? Is this person going to leave after they get their first paycheck? Or is this person going to leave after they get a second paycheck? Can I depend on this person? You make the employer do so much other thinking that he need to do just by saying that you're homeless. Even if that's the case, even if you are in a bad situation, that employer does not need to know that. You do not need to cost yourself an opportunity at a job by saying you're homeless. Never say you're homeless. Number 6, when an interviewer asks you, tell me a little bit about yourself, stick to the script. And when I mean stick to the script, that is a professional question, and you should answer that professionally. He's talking about, what have you done at some of your jobs, or what are some of your likes? You may want to dive a little bit into the family, but you don't want to go off to left field. A lot of times in interview, when we ask that question, people go, they start telling you their whole life story. They telling you they're going through a divorce. They got 3 bad kids. One of them is in jail. One of them is a thief. One of them is pregnant with their second baby. They tell you so much stuff that does not pertain to the job that it gets mind-boggling. So you want to stick to the script and know that is a professional question, and you don't need to tell your life story or get an employer too much information that they do not need to know. Number 7, don't talk down on the old employer. This is a big one. This is what a lot of people do when they go into a job interview. They want to talk negative about the places they were before. One, that is not a good practice. You never get anywhere smearing dirt on somebody else's name. And a lot of times people will be in an interview and they'll be like, I hated this place. The boss was mean to me. The workers were lazy. I just hated it. The customers came in left and right. It was always busy. Or they tell you, they bash their old employer. And then you will look at their resume and they was there for 2 to 3 years. And you'll be like, if you hated that place, why did you stay there for 2 or 3 years? So you never just want to go into an interview bashing that old boss, because that person you're interviewing with is going to be thinking like, if this person doesn't quit here, or if the job doesn't work out for this person and they quit or they get fired, or they gonna bash me on their next job opportunity. So never talk down on your old employer. Number 8, do not curse or talk too comfortably. I know sometimes the questions, sometimes the interviewers asking us sometimes may cause you to curse, or you may feel so passionate about something that you start talking comfortably. Or we want to keep it professional at all times, and we want to make sure that we're not cursing and we're not getting too comfortable to where we're having too much fun and we get distracted away from the interview. Because I've interviewed a lot of people over the years sometimes, and I've been thinking like, okay, this guy's cutting up. He seems a little fun, but I wouldn't want him as an employee. So you just want to keep that professional presence at all times. Number 9, leave headphones, book bags, and extra baggage at home. You just want to leave all that stuff at home because it just makes you look cluttered, and you want to present that presence of where you neat at all times, and you don't need all that extra baggage with you. The only thing you need in an interview with you is your resume or your portfolio. Number 10, don't harass the company after the interview. If a company gives you a day, if they're doing interviews and they say, okay, we're going to do callbacks on Monday, or we're going to do callbacks on Wednesday next week, to give that company the opportunity to call you back. You do not need to call later on that day and say that you get the job, or later on that day you want to follow up on an interview that you had, or you just don't want to harass the company. If they tell you they're going to call you on that date, then give them that date. It's okay to follow up on that date they said they was going to call you, but you don't need to follow back, continue. After you call them that one time, do not continue to call them 3 to 4 times a day. I mean, because all you're going to do is annoy a person that the people you're applying for, and that can also cost you your job, because sometimes, in the business world, we get tied up and things happen unexpectedly. So sometimes we might not call back when we say we're going to call back, because who knows what happens in the business world. But things do happen unexpectedly where we're not able to call back. But what you don't want to do in the meantime is cost yourself an employment by being a nuisance. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys zoom in on some of these principles, and I hope you get the job. Have a good one.